So over the last few days, I saw that there was a new movie added to Netflix called Vash Level 2. And I was like, okay, I'm assuming there's a part 1 or a level 1. So I looked into it, and not only is there a part 1, but there is a remake to part 1. Shiatan, I think is how you say it. And it's a movie I have seen and I reviewed last year, I want to say. Now, this is a sequel to the original, but I am here to talk about both the original really quick and this sequel. Now, these are Indian films, and it is not uncommon from what I've gathered from looking into Indian cinema a little bit here and there, for them to make a film in one language and then remake it in another language. This first one here being in Gujarati, and them then remaking it in Hindi. I've noticed that this seems to be a trend that they do. And what's cool about this one is that in Vash, the actress who's in that is also the exact same actress and character in the remake. And she is also in this sequel, and she will be in the remake's sequel, which is a remake of this. Following me so far? Okay. So, the first movie, which is about a woman or a young girl who comes under the spell or black magic of this, I don't know what to call him, the devil. I mean, that's literally the name of the remake, which is Shiatan, I think is how you say it, and that means devil from what I looked up. Now, Vash had a few different meanings. I looked that up, and, conjugated, I guess, was one of them, and there was a few different things. But regardless, yeah, and the dad has to fight. Now, if you don't want any spoilers for that movie, it is very, very hard to find currently in America. I am going to, for the time being, link it in the description or in the comments. I don't know where yet, but I could not find it, and I contacted someone I know who then was like, I know where to find it, and he gave me this. Thank God, because I couldn't watch it otherwise. And I'm not somebody who's a big pirater. I don't do that shit. But if you can't watch the movie any other way, I don't know what else to do. So if you do want to watch them in order, I will provide the first one. The second one is on Netflix. I really like the first one a lot. In fact, I prefer it to the remake because this is a darker film. The first one ends much lighter. Or the remakes. The first one's remake is actually a much lighter film in its end. It's still a heavy film for sure, but I much prefer the first one. When I put on the first one, I was like, am I like, because the original felt so much like the remake at first that I was like, is this just going to be kind of a shot for shot? Is there a point for me to watch this? I am very, very glad that I sat down to watch it. The first one is 2 hours long, but I thought it was worth it. I thought it was really damn good, and I highly recommend it for sure. So definitely check that one out before you check this one out. So now, putting, and a lot of what I have to say about the first one will just kind of bleed over into what I have to say about the second one. I really am mostly here to talk about the second one, even though I did already say I really like the first one. If you want to kind of get my overall thoughts on the first one, you can go check out my review of the remake, and I think a lot of what I have to say there will, be able to be put on that one as well. Maybe not all of it, but a lot of it. Putting that aside, let's talk about Vash Level 2. And talking about levels, this one's on a whole nother level. So the first one has stakes, for sure, and they are high. But this one elevates it to a whole other level. Yes, pun intended. Holy shit. This was a crazy fucking sequel, man. I had no idea where they were going to go with this sequel. Where things leave off in Vash, I was like, okay, I don't really know what's there to do. Oh boy. Was I mistaken? There was definitely something to do, and they upped the stakes big time. So, a couple movies I definitely want to liken this to. The most obvious one, and the one that will perk up the most ears, because it is the most beloved film of this year, especially by myself, is the film Weapons. There are definitely some connections and similarities between this and Weapons. So, and some of the stuff that happens in Weapons towards the end is kind of what's happening in here throughout a lot of it. And I was really surprised at how fucking hard this movie goes at times. I'm not saying there's a ton of gore, because there isn't. It does shy away from the gore, but it does not shy away from how messed up what's going on is. And I don't really feel like the gore is all that necessary. Would I have preferred it to be in here? Sure, of course. I love gore and I love it being on screen. But I felt like this was satisfyingly screwed up for me, and I was totally fine with how it played out. So there you go for that side of things. The other film that I will liken it to, but only for the first 20 to 30 minutes, and the rest of the film to me was a disappointment, because the first 20 to 30 minutes just couldn't be lived up to by the rest of the film. And this is a movie called Beelzebub, I think that's how you say it, which was like a Shudder original. I think back in 2019 is when I watched it. I think when I just recently looked it up again, it was 2017, but I didn't see it till 2019. That was a Shudder movie with Tobin Bell in it, and it had this insane, crazy, wild opening, and I was so high on it for the first 20 minutes, and then it just kind of fell apart from there. Well, this one is like that, except for they actually continue on that trajectory and build on that and actually deliver on how crazy the first 20, 30 minutes are. Man, I love this movie so much. I thought this was fucking great. I thought this was such a wild follow-up. I thought that there was so much crazy shit going on in this movie. There was so many times where I was like, oh shit, because I just didn't know what to expect from it at all. Going into these blind would absolutely be the best way to approach these films. Now, this isn't going to be for everybody. This absolutely hits all of my personal desires when it comes to a horror movie. I like things that are twisted, for sure. Not always, of course, but why I liked this movie is because it has a really messed up premise. It really sticks to it throughout. It does not lighten up on that stuff. It is vicious throughout, and it's a father-daughter relationship with at its core, which is always going to win me over. This is a dad who will stop at absolutely nothing, does not care who he hurts, does not care what he has to do. This dude is dedicated to his daughter, and I love it. I love it. I also read some reviews on this really quick before I got on. It's got really high ratings, which is typical for Indian cinema. I feel like they have very high ratings on a lot of their films. But the thing that I was surprised to read, and I read this actually before the ending of the movie, so I was kind of like, okay, that's gonna suck if that's true, is they didn't like the wrap up, and they thought that that it was, I want to be careful with my words here, that the conflict was resolved too easily. I completely disagree. I was so satisfied how this concluded. I was so satisfied with what ends up being revealed as the plan, I guess I'll call it. I thought that made perfect sense, and was like, oh shit, that's cool as hell. Hell yeah. Because I was sitting there like, I don't know. Where do we go from, here? As I said, I'm trying to be very cautious with my words. I don't want to give anything away here. But yeah, man, I was so impressed with this one. I'm so glad I watched the first one before this. Um, I think the performances from everyone are quite good. Now, are you familiar with Indian cinema, and will this style work for you? Um, the first one is much more, or the first one's remake is much more hopeful. It's much more cheesy at times. The family dynamic, the way they're building it up, it kind of feels like a commercial at times for like the perfect family. And that can get a little eye rolly, but the first one is kind of, they've stripped all of that out. I shouldn't say stripped it out because they're the original. They're void of anything like that. So I much prefer the original, and this sequel is awesome. Now, will I watch the remake sequel? Sure. I'm not really sure how it will follow this exactly because of how things wrap up in the end of the first one, the remake. So how much will they be able to follow the story? I don't know. And this is one that is going to be really hard to do like a lighter version of. I don't even want to see a lighter version of this. But yeah, man, if for some reason you're skipping this because it's Indian and it's in a different language, yes, it is. It's a subtitled film, and the subtitles in this were actually pretty quick. I was having to like really kind of speed read them sometimes. I was like, shit, these are moving pretty fast, because there is a lot of dialogue, and our villain here is an evil son of a bitch. Here's an evil son of a bitch. So, man, I have just seen so many great films this year. Once again, just 2025 killing it, absolutely crushing it. I don't know where I sit on this. I don't want to sell it. I don't want to hype it up too much. I don't know how to otherwise, right? Like, I'm just trying to be honest about how I felt about it. Going into it with no expectations, that absolutely helps, because I didn't think of anything with the first one today, but I really, really enjoyed the first one and was like, oh, if they can even get close to the first one, that'll be great. And I thought they exceeded the first one in every way. So what a great little, series. I know it's not a franchise yet. I don't know what to call two films, but duology. Would I like there to be a third? I like where the story ends. I'm happy with the ending. I don't want a third one, really. Now, could I, see being wrong and taking a third? Sure. I would love to be wrong and to see a story where I'm like, oh, cool. Yeah, I dig that. But I'm very, very happy with the conclusion of this movie. I think it wraps things up very nicely, because the first one does leave things open. Like, I didn't realize it. It's a dark ending, and I was like, oh, that's fucked up. But then once we get this one, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, there's definitely something to explore here, and they do. And I don't know, I just really vibed with everything. I really did. I thought the villain was scary and interesting. Like, they went places that I didn't expect, and at first I was like, okay, this is kind of convenient, but like as it went on, I was like, you know what, I'm buying this. I'm into this. I'm actually all right with it. I don't have an issue with it. And come the end, I mean, I was just like so invested, so in it, and was like, oh god, here, what's gonna happen? And when it happened, I was like, this is so fucking rad. This is such a good conclusion to a rad film. So one of my favorites of the year. Undoubtedly, this will end up in my top 10 of the year, without question, in my opinion. As of right now, I mean, it's just such a fucking cool film. But will you have the same experience as me? I don't know. How many Indian horror films have you watched? I haven't watched a ton. That's for sure. Indian horror is not super accessible to me, but now that I've seen this, and I've seen Vash, and I guess maybe the Hindi versions are like lighter. Is that for anyone who is familiar with Indian cinema? let me know if that is typical, because I really don't know. Is it like the like Hindi remake of like the other languages, like Telugu and Tamil? I've looked at these. I don't know how to say the languages, but like I've noticed that there's always like that version, and then they remake it in Hindi almost always. Is that the tamer version? If so, then I need to watch the non-Hindi stuff, because Vash was much better. So anyway, that's it. I'm just kind of rambling at this point, but I hope I said enough or not too much. That was a tough one. That was a tough one because I really didn't reveal almost anything, and I was reviewing almost three films there, just to really mostly talk about the second one. But I really think you need to see the first one. Absolutely, you should watch the first one without question. I would not skip out on it. It is hard to find, as I said, and I will have it in the comments, but who knows how long before that is taken down. So if you click on it and it's gone, it's been disabled, then try your best to find it elsewhere. It sucks that they don't have a copy of it on Netflix, right? Like when Netflix releases these types of movies that are sequels, it's like, man, you got to secure the rights to the first one or whatever, however many there are before that. Not having access to those films that come before, just kind of cuts down on people's desires. I don't ever like watching films out of order, and I wasn't going to watch this one until Brian Fears Ghost, shout out to him, got me a copy of this. So there you go, man. I am a massive fan of this one. Vash level 2, A+, super fucking cool. What a wild film. If you liked weapons, there's definitely some similarities. There's definitely some wild similarities here. So hopefully you have fun with it like I did, and feel the satisfaction. If you're a dad of daughters especially, and you do anything, or even just your kids in general, check this one out. So alright, that's it. Enough rambling. Vash level 2 on Netflix. Check out both. Adios.